Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me using all the products I pulled in this past week's makeup basket. So I have everything here. I'm using the Venus palette. I'm also using the Morphe foundation. And I'm also going to be going back to my assumptions that were on my YouTube community section. So we're going to be working through those again, trying to finish those up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it last week. So I thought it was fun. It made the video quite a bit longer. But honestly, I thought it was fun answering the questions or like the assumptions. So I really enjoyed this series. So first we're going to prime my face. I did figure out that using the GlamGlow, this is the GlowStarter, is not exactly what I want for my skin. I feel like it's not quite hydrating enough. So I'm going to actually use a moisturizer first. If I can find my moisturizer. Maybe. Okay, I found it. So yeah, I was really prepared. I'm going to use the Elemis. This is the Pro Collagen Marine Cream. I'm going to use a little bit of this to help me get some hydration because my skin is pretty dry still, even though I feel like it's getting better. It's not quite as dry as it used to be, but it's still not perfect. So I like to give my skin some extra boost of hydration whenever I can because dry skin and makeup sometimes just don't go well together. So you have to make sure you prep your skin really well. So we're just going to put this on. It smells really nice. I'm almost out of it, which makes me really sad because this is a very expensive cream. I got it in like BoxyCharm and I'm like, darn, why did I fall in love with another expensive product? I hate when that happens. So anyway, we're going to put that on and then we're going to start looking at the questions here soon too. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to not use the GlamGlow GlowStarter. I'm going to use this right here. This is my Becca. This is called the, what is this called? I can't see. Backlight priming filter. So we're going to use this to give myself an extra bit of glow to my skin because my skin, like I said, is very dry. And anything that can make it even just appear more glowy makes me happy. So even if it's not super glowy in person, it'll look like it is a little bit. So we're just going to put some of this on. All right, the first assumption that I'm at is Kiera Whalen. She says, I assume you are good at budgeting, managing things in your life. She says, side note, never be afraid to share what you get because you work hard for them. Life is too short to live it like it's live it like it's your last. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Kira. Is it Kira or Kiara? I'm not sure. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing your name. Thank you. I agree. I mean, if you're working at your job and everything and you are doing everything you can do to help your family out and you want to go spend a little bit of money on yourself, I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. So I say treat yourself because like she said, you only have one life, so live your life. I mean, live it however makes you happy. As long as you're not putting yourself into like debt or anything like that, I don't see a problem with it. So thank you very much, Kira. So am I good at budgeting? I mean, I can be when I need to be. I'm good at it. So like if I have to budget for something, if I know there's like something really nice coming up that we're going to do or something that I want to buy for somebody, then I will budget my money and make sure that I save enough so that I can get that item for that person. So yeah, I can budget very well. So now we're going to go in with the Morphe foundation. You do not need a whole lot of this foundation whatsoever. Do not put a bunch of this on your face. If you do, you will get cakey. So I'm going to put just this tiny amount, and it's probably still going to be too much. This is a very, very liquidy foundation as well. You're going to see it's kind of like running down my hand here. So it's super liquidy. But the good thing is because it's such good coverage, I just threw my brushes on the floor. Okay, sorry about that. So because it's such good coverage, you don't need a whole bunch of it. So that's the great thing. So it's going to last you a long time and it's not super expensive. Do I like this foundation? I don't think that it's like my favorite, but I don't hate it. So that's for sure. So far, I think it's really good, but you definitely have to prep your skin. This is not exactly my color either, so it's a little bit light for me. So when I put it on, you'll notice my skin looks a little bit more fair, or maybe it's just because it's evening out everything. I don't know, but it just feels like it's a little bit fair for me. But either way, it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work, right? Now moving on to the next assumption. This is from Danielle Jackson. She says, I assume even though you haul, you put all your loved ones and priorities first. Also, we know you're rich, and she did the crying laughing face. Oh my goodness, I can speak. So that was meaning sarcasm. So you're right, I am not rich. We are not rich, but I do like some things that are nice in life. So, but like I said, I mean, I grew up not having a whole lot in life. So, I mean, we were never to a point where we didn't have a roof over our heads or anything like that. but we didn't have a whole lot. We managed to get by with what we had. So do I put my family and my other priorities first? Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, because family should always come first. I will always put my family first because I feel like they're what keeps me grounded. So definitely family comes first. So yes, you are so right. All right, so I just don't know if you can tell or not. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see my skin a little bit better. So there's what it looks like. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it's definitely pretty fair. Like I said, it's not an exact match, but I mean, I matched it online, and there's how much foundation is still on my hand here. That's why I say you do not need a lot of this foundation whatsoever, so don't go overboard with it because you will have so much that it'll just start to look cakey. So even with the small amount I put on, I feel like it did a good job of covering my acne over here. This is not a hickey, this is my burn scar. I've been putting stuff on it and it's not disappearing. The scar is not disappearing, so it's like going to be permanent. So that's awesome. So in this side as well, I think it did a good job of covering my acne. Even my under eyes, they don't look super dark anymore. So I think it does a really good job. In my opinion, it's nice. Now what I do also do, I was using the Smashbox is what I pulled for this week, but I do not like that, the centering citrus or something like that. That stuff stinks. I do not like the way it smells. So I'm going to use the L'Oreal, the Makeup Extender Setting Spray. I'm going to use a little bit of this to help help everything to sink in because it is a matte foundation and I do have dry skin. So I'm just trying to give it as much help as I possibly can because we can always work with different foundations. You just might have to take extra steps to get it to work better for yourself. So we're going to spray. And then we're going to fan. I'm going to use my little fan I got from Canada. I'm like, this does not look like a Canadian fan, but it was because we visited I think it was called a Buddha. I don't remember what it was called, to be honest with you, but my son, he was like really interested in going. So we went in there and it was very unique. I really loved the place. So I want to go back to Canada. I loved visiting Canada. That was so much fun. Okay, so the next person is Joe Smith. She says, I assume you would never say I have enough makeup and don't need to buy anything for 6 months. I might say it, but am I being honest with myself? I mean, yeah, I'm being honest with myself, but will I stick to it? No, because I'm terrible about budgeting. Not really budgeting. I'm not terrible about budgeting. I'm terrible about the no buys. Do I not have a brow product? I mean, where's my brow product? I don't see it in here. What in the world did you do with your brow product? Oh my goodness, I don't have my brow product in here for some reason. That's weird. Oh, there it is. It's so tiny. It's the little Cella. I'm like, where is this product at? It's so tiny that it took me a minute to find it. So it's the Cella. This is the Tantalizing Taupe Eyebrow Color. This is actually pretty nice. It's got the real fine little tip to it as well. So I really do like this. You can definitely draw in some little brush, like little brow strokes, so you can make it look like you have brow hairs where you don't, which is awesome because I don't really have brow hairs in the front. That's where I'm missing most of mine, so I like it for that. I like it. So, but yes, I will not be able to do a no buy. I could do a low buy, definitely. So I could like go through my collection and say, look, I don't need this, I don't need that, which probably would be everything. I don't really need anything. So I don't know. I mean, I've tried doing a no buy, I've tried doing a low buy. And I wasn't successful at either one of them, so I don't know. Should I? Should I attempt it again, guys? You have to let me know. Do you think I should try to do another low buy, no buy? Probably not a no buy. I can tell you that. It will not be a no buy. And then I can come on here once a month and then let you guys know what I ended up purchasing for the month and whether I stuck to my low buy project or whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. We could do something like that. You have to let me know if you guys will be interested in something like that. We could do a low buy, and then I'd have to set parameters like I can't buy this and I can't buy that, and then like maybe a maximum of what I'm allowed to spend for the month. That might be interesting actually, because then I could kind of see how much I can control what I do, because I know sometimes I can go a little bit crazy when it comes to new makeup releases and when it comes to sales, especially sales. Oh my gosh. I'm not super into new makeup releases. I'm more into what's on sale. What can I get that I'm going to save some money on? Which technically, I mean, are you really saving money if you are just getting something because it's on sale? Because I've done that plenty of times. I bought things just because it was on sale and then I'm like, why did I buy this? So it's weird. I don't know. All right, so we're going to spoolie through these real quickly. Spoolie, spoolie. Now we're going down to Micah A. She says, or Yeah. I'm assuming your husband's store business is doing very well and it's a family-oriented company that treats all employees like your own family. You are exactly right. We try to treat everybody like their family. My husband is such an awesome boss. I love that he can do what he does. He is just such an amazing man, honestly. We met such a long time ago and we grew up together basically. I met him when I was 15. So when I was 15, I met him, and honestly, when we first met, I was like, I don't know, not really, we weren't vibing together. So, but either way, I just think that he has grown into the most amazing man I've known in my life, honestly. I can't say like of my father or anything like that because my dad was not actually in the picture ever, honestly. So for me, he is just an amazing dad. He's an amazing husband. He's an amazing boss. So he is the one who keeps the company grounded and does such an amazing job with the employees. He gets his work ethics from his grandfather. His grandfather was an amazing man. So I just think he's just absolutely amazing. And I think I don't tell him quite often enough. I didn't even prime my eyelids. I'm just putting stuff down. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I don't think I tell him often enough how proud I am of him, because I am very, very proud of him. So yes, he is the main contributor to why the company is successful. He is a very successful man. So I was using the Essence I Heart Color Intensifying. You don't need a lot of this either. You just want to tap this onto your eyelid. I have like a really dark spot right there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's melasma or something. I don't know what that little spot is. I've had it for a very, very long time, so it's not like it just appeared. If it just appeared, I would have gone and had it checked out, because that would be a little odd. So I just like to try to cover that as much as I can, even though it usually doesn't get covered. It's just a really, really strong spot. So I probably could use something a little bit better to cover it with and it would do a better job, but I just don't. I don't. All right, so get in my inner corners here as well. All right. Now I'm going to set it. So I'm going to go in with the Creme Brulee from Wet n Wild. I'm using the Lime Crime Venus 2 XL2. It doesn't really have a color to set your lid with, in my opinion. All the colors that I could literally set my lid with are like shimmers, and I don't want to put that on my lid. So I'm going to use this because you guys know this is what I always use to set my lids with. It works really well. I've never had an issue with it. It's a perfect color. It's just basically a powder. I think you could honestly just use like a face powder, but this is just so tiny and compact and it just works really well. So why would I change? And this only costs like 99 cents. So, or maybe even less than that. Honestly, I'm not even sure because it's been a long time since I've purchased it. So they last a while. They last you a long time. Mama Shauna, she says, I assume your entire family is nice. I have to agree. I think my whole family is nice. My mom is like, she is the best mother ever. I mean, she's just such a sweet lady. She is very supportive of everything that I do. She is such a good grandmother. She's a good mother. She's just fantastic. My brothers are all fantastic. They're just so fun to hang around with. My husband, like I just said, he is amazing and he is super awesome. He's always been such a sweetheart. He's a very giving person. So I just love my whole family. My sons are, of course, I love them to the moon and back, or whatever you want to say, but I just love them to pieces. So yes, my whole family is nice. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the palette here. So we're going to start with In Bloom. I'm going to use this right here, this little pink shade. This is a really nice matte shade. I love this color. I love pink shades. I don't know about you. Oh my god. I just put it on my lid. Oh my goodness. I need a different brush. Well, I don't know why I got this one. I got the wrong brush. That's what's wrong here. Alright, I'm going to use this one right here. This is a Morphe brush. I know not everybody likes Morphe, but I do. I kind of like their brushes. So they're not super expensive, and I mean, if I do have to replace them, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to purchase it in the first place. So I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. So look how pigmented that is. Like, it's so pretty. This is a really, really awesome palette. The only thing that I've noticed with this palette, I feel like there's two colors in here that are pretty similar. I feel like Myth and Ivy are very, very similar. Like, even, I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Ivy and Myth, like when you put them on your lids, there's not much of a difference at all. So I feel like they're very, very similar. So I'm not sure why they did that. Probably in their mind, they probably thought they would be more different than what they are, but literally when you put them on the lid, there's no difference at all. There's not a big difference. So I don't know. I think that's a little weird. But I mean, other than that, the palette itself is really, really good. I mean, like, look at the pigmentation to this. And I'm using, this is a very nice brush for Morphe. This is the E27. This one's a really, really good one. So I am enjoying this one very much so. It's super soft. I know some of the other Morphe brushes are not like super soft. Some of them are a little scratchy. Like this one here I have, which is the Morphe M441. This one is very scratchy. Not so in love with that one, but it does work for like if you are having a hard time blending out shadows and they just won't move. It works for that because it's a little bit more texture to it, so it's going to help to move those shadows. So it does help for that. The next person is Lisa Smith. She says, I assume family means everything to you. I assume you love seafood. So let's answer the first one first. Family does mean everything to me because my family, like we just discussed, is the most important thing to me. I have always put my family first because they're who I depend on. That's who I rely on, and that's who I don't know, I just feel like that's, family should come first. And then she says, I assume you love seafood. Absolutely, I love seafood. So now I'm going to go in with Sage, and I'm going to use that pencil we were just trying to use a while ago. I'm going to put a little bit of this in the outer V here. We're creating like an apple blossom look almost. So if you guys are like into like the apple blossom type of festivals and stuff, we have one here in Virginia. We have an actual apple blossom festival. It's in Winchester. I used to go to it all the time when I was a kid. I loved going there. I remember I would get so much candy that by the end, not really candy, but like junk food, by the end of the time we were there, I would feel like, ugh, not so good. But it was just fun. The next thing on there, she says, I assume you are a person who hates change. Actually, no, I like change. I love things when they're changed out. Like, it depends on what kind of change you're talking about too. So it depends. Like, if it's like a change that's going to affect a lot of people in a negative way, then yeah, I don't want that. But like a good change, like say, for example, I like to change my furniture around. I used to do this all the time when I was growing up. I would literally come home from school and then just decide to move my entire room around, redecorate it all, and then I would go downstairs and redecorate my grandmother's kitchen. I would take everything out of her cabinets and reorganize everything. So I do like change. I do. I assume you love to eat out. Oh yes, I do. I love to eat out, even though I always feel like really miserable afterwards because I think they must put more salt in food and stuff when you're eating. I would go downstairs and redecorate my grandmother's kitchen. I would take everything out of her cabinets and reorganize everything. So I do like change. I do. I assume you love to eat out. Oh yes, I do. I love to eat out, even though I always feel like really miserable afterwards because I think they must put more salt in food and stuff when you're eating out or something, because I know I always swell up a lot when we eat out. Like I feel like very swollen, so I'm assuming there must be a lot more sodium, and I don't use much sodium when I'm cooking because I can't have a whole lot, because literally my hands will swell so much that my rings, like right now they're sliding around, but after I eat out, like they're so swollen, my rings are like I look like sausages with a ribbon tied around it. So it's terrible what happens to my body when I eat out, and I don't know what it is. I think, like I said, I think it has to be the salt that's in the food, which is unfortunate because I mean, I don't know if you can tell them, hey, do not put any salt in my food, but then I'd be afraid that you might offend somebody and then they might do something bad to your food. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to go back into the palette. I don't know why I put the palette down. I'm not done. Now I'm going to go into the palette here and I'm going to use this one right here. We're going to use Myth. I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to pop that into the center lid here. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to show you that Myth and the other one are very similar, so I'm going to do both. I like using more like these type of shades with my finger. I know they can go on with a brush as well, but I just feel like you get a lot better pigmentation when you use your finger. So I just keep a little cloth handy and I wipe my fingers off. Now we'll go into Ivy and I'll put that here. So you'll see they're right side by side. Do you see a difference? I don't feel like there's much of a difference in these two shades. I'm like, what in the world? Is there supposed to be a difference? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. So again, I'm going to do the Myth on this side right here. Myth, Myth, Myth. I feel like we're ready for spring now. We'll do Ivy in the outer portion. Or the inner portion, not outer. It's a little bit more matte. I think that's the difference between Ivy and Myth. Ivy's a little bit more matte versus Myth is a little bit more shiny. I think that's the only thing I can tell. Now I'm going to go into Eve with my finger again, and I'm going to put that in the outer portion here. I'm just going to tap it there. I'm tapping and bringing it in a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit more. I want to make sure it's nice and pigmented there. Alright. And whoops, I don't want to use that finger. That's not appropriate, Tiffany. Okay, so there, that's what that looks like. That looks very spring-like. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll get back to our questions. I can't really read a question while I'm doing this. We will be right back to them now. We'll be right back after these messages. Okay, I'm just going to blend a little bit with my finger. Blend it back. And there we go. I feel like I might have gotten that up into the crease quite a bit there, Tiffany. Good job. So I'm going to go back in with my brush and see if I can clean that up a little bit here. Go back in with Sage. And clean that up a little bit there. Try to get rid of some of that more shimmery shade out of my crease. I don't want that in my crease. I don't want that in my crease. I just want it on my lid. I'll do the same thing over here. Got to match both sides. Match it up. Okay, so there we go. My eyes are looking very spring-like in my opinion. Okay, so the next person is Vicky Bra. You married your high school sweetheart. You are a hard worker that makes you wear many hats. So first of all, did I marry my high school sweetheart? We were not high school sweethearts. I mean, we're kinda, I guess, because I met him when I was 15 and things just didn't, like, we just didn't mesh well at first. So I don't know, I was just like not really into him. And then later down the road, things changed, and then I realized how much of a good person he was and that I was a fool for pushing him away. So yeah, things ended up working out better. So when I was 19, we started dating. So at 19 we dated, and then we've been together since. So we've been together for a very long time. In my opinion, I think so. Anyway, we've been together for 21 years? Yeah, 21 years. No, wait. 22 years this year. Yeah, so 22 years this year. Okay, I used the Morphe concealer. This to me is not as full coverage as the foundation. This is not like super full coverage. So you can go a little bit more ham with the concealer in my opinion. You don't have to be so light-handed with it. So, which is good because I know a lot of beauty YouTubers like to go a little bit more crazy with their concealers, especially when they were doing it with the Tarte Shape Tape. Oh my gosh, they were using way too much of that stuff. That stuff you really need to go in with a light hand. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my Besame purple powder. I'm going to use this to set under my eyes. And this works really well for setting under my eyes. I think so anyway. The only thing that I don't like about this, I feel like it's like a little messy and it doesn't show up like purple or anything. So if you're worried about it showing up purple, it doesn't. It just goes on nice and easy. Nice and easy. Like hair, like that hair dye. Isn't there a hair dye called Nice and Easy? Pretty sure there is. Okay, so I'm gonna set that. So that's set. Make sure make sure I powdered it all out. It looks like it's a little funny in the mirror, in the viewfinder here. Alright, so now I usually start in the outer corner too. That's where I messed up a while ago. I like to start in the outer corner and kind of bring it in. And then take it back out. And then just keep patting it under my eye. So that it's just a small amount. And then you can kind of smooth over everything. And make sure that it just didn't fall into your creases or anything too badly. So there's that. Put this back together. And then now we're on to her question still. She says, you're hoping for a daughter-in-law, so you will have a daughter someday, as I only hear you talk about your boys and you'd love to travel, but you put family first. I would love to have a amazing daughter-in-law. Right now both of my sons are dating girls and their girlfriends are very nice. I really do like them, especially my oldest son. I really like his girlfriend. I think she's super sweet. So I don't know. I mean, I am hoping for a daughter-in-law one day. Hope so. That way there I'll have somebody to shop with. Maybe she'll like makeup just Although his current girlfriend doesn't really like makeup, so I'm gonna have to make her like makeup. What do you think? So now I'm gonna go into Locust, and I'm going to use this to just kind of put in my lash line, just to give it a little bit of color here. Go back in there. It doesn't really do much. It just gives it a little bit of color. It's not a whole drastic change or anything. Now I'm going to use my little whale tail brush. You guys know I love this sperm whale brush. I'm going to use Radiant over here in the corner and use that to highlight my brow bone. Highlight, highlight. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Everybody does their makeup differently. I always do my eye makeup like before I do the rest of them. No, I can't say I always do because I change it up, honestly. I think it just depends on what I feel like doing for the day first. Now I'm just kind of making sure this is blended well. All right. So that's that for that. That's that for that. That made sense. The next thing she says is, you put family first. I do put family first. And Lord, I love your hauls, but you're an emotional makeup shopper and justified because of the deal you're getting. I love it when you say your famous last words. I know, I know. This is my last haul. She's right. I also think these are favorite videos for you, and I love. Not sure where we left off. The camera was not recording anymore, so hopefully I was able to show you guys things. I'm just recording and not even where I thought I was recording, but it wasn't. So surprise, surprise. So Esther Kleinman says, you are a very straightforward and calm person. I have to agree. I think I am a very straightforward and I'm pretty calm. I mean, I don't get upset over too much. The only thing that really upsets me is when somebody does something to my kids. Other than that, I'm not too, you can't really faze me too much. So I'm going to go into this is my created palette. So these are all of the different blushes as well as some highlights in here. So I'm going to go into the shade right down here, which is, let me see if I can tell you what it is. This is Infatuation. This is Makeup Geek Infatuation. So I'm going to go into Infatuation and I'm going to put some of that on my cheeks. It's such a beautiful color. It's like very light and very almost natural looking. I like the way it looks. I like the way it looks. It looks very nice. Put a little on my nose. I like putting it on my nose. I know not everybody does that, but that's okay. We can be different. We don't all have to be the same. Something about putting on the chin lately too, people are doing, which I had never seen or heard that before. Now I'm going to go in with my highlight. I'm going to use this one right here, I think. This is Anastasia Glow Kit in Starburst. So this is Starburst by Anastasia. That looks really pretty. Oh yeah, I like that. Oops, went to the wrong color. Go down my nose a little bit here. I don't like do crazy on my nose, I just do a little bit. And then I'm going to use the same color for my inner corner highlight. There we go. Make sure I tap that out. All right, so there is my highlight, and then we're gonna go in with setting things over here now. Now we're gonna go in with the Park Avenue Princess by Tarte. We're gonna use this to bronze up just a little bit, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna use this big old Tarte brush. We're using, the next person is Mayhog. She says, I'm assuming that it's really hard for you to get outside of yourself. You're pretty introverted, but that is hard as putting yourself out there that this channel has helped you with that. And you really love your life. By the way, I don't think you are boring at all. Thank you. And you're one of my favorite people on YouTube. Just saying. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. I am very introverted. I am not a people person. I always worry about people judging me. I think it's because I judge myself too harshly sometimes. I'm very hard on myself when it comes to things. Like when I gained some weight recently, I was extremely hard on myself because I was like, why are you gaining weight? And it was literally because of the medicine I'm on. So it's not like I was like eating more or anything like that, My medicine literally started making me gain weight because I'm on several different kinds of medicine now. So it was making me gain weight, and then I'm just really hard on myself. Like if my house isn't in an order that I like, that I feel is presentable, then I feel like I didn't do a good job. So it makes me sad. I'm like, okay, I need to work harder. And then, I don't know, I'm just very hard on myself. I'm very, very hard. I'm harder on myself than I think anybody could ever be. I am way harder on myself. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible. Set, set, set. So how many more questions do we have? We have quite a few more questions. So maybe we'll have to do this again next week. You have to let me know. Do you want to see another Get Ready With Me doing the things that you all assume about me? Or are you guys tired of this already? You have to let me know. I think it's kind of fun because I'm like just chit-chatting. So now I'm going to use the shade right here. This is the Naked Princess, and it's in the shade Mauve. So I was going to use this shade right here because this is my favorite one, which is in the shade Truffle. But look what happened. The little thing fell off. I'm like, what in the world? These things are like made really cheaply, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. They smell good. They smell very vanilla-y. And they definitely have some color to them. But the tips like fall off. See, like this one acts like it wants to fall off too. It's gonna snap. Yep, it is. It's coming off. What in the world? See, there it goes. Okay, so I put my lip product on, which is the Naked Princess, but the tip, oh my gosh, I just dropped it. The tip literally just came off on this product. I am not going to be recommending these to you guys. I'm actually going to probably be tossing these when I do my, when I finish my shop, when I do my shop, my stash on Monday. So they're just, they smell really good and they're very pretty, but the actual applicators are horrendous. So I do not recommend those at all to you guys. So anyway, this is my completed look. My skin is looking a little bit more matched to the foundation in my opinion. So the foundation looks like this up close now that we're finished. I think it looks pretty good. It's not terrible in my opinion. I feel like it looks nice. And my forehead, this is the part that I always worry about right here. This is where I'll get a lot of creasing because I do have my hot dog pack right here. See, looks like a pack of hot dogs. So that's why I always, see, that's where I mainly check, is because if this is settling right here, then it's going to settle everywhere else for me because this usually settles first. So anyway, I'd love to know if you guys want me to do another assuming video next week or assumptions video next week. Let me know, what do you think of these makeup products? I am really loving the Lime Crime palette. I think it's very, very nice. There are some things in here that I feel like were excellent this week, and there's some things in here that I feel like are garbage this week. So we'll talk about those items on Monday. Let me know, what do you think? And also let me know, did you shop your stash this week? Did you have fun using your products? Are there products you're taking out of your collection? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.